Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for day one of Boys Town Donor Week. My name is Gabby, and I am your host for the week. We are going live every single day to celebrate you, our incredible donors. Today, we're live with Josh and Katie Reed, siblings who graduated from Boys Town. Josh and Katie, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Katie, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Awesome. Well, it's great to have you both on. We are going to go through several discussion questions and learn more about Josh and Katie and their story. Before we get into that, I want to let everyone know that we are doing a live giveaway. I'm kind of hearing myself echo. Josh or Katie, do you have the live pulled up by chance? Okay, maybe it's just on my end. I think hopefully it goes away. Anywho, like I mentioned, we are doing a live giveaway. So if you want to be entered to win, I have on here some photos of our giveaway items. So that's going to be, you can see above us here, a Teach Love license plate cover, as well as a Boys Town pen and stylist. Leave a comment on this video. Let us know why you support Boys Town for an opportunity to win. We are also doing a grand prize giveaway, which is going to be a paver, so you can cement your legacy of support for the Boys Town Education Center that is opening this fall. So every day when we go live this week, we're going to be adding up all the names from the comment section, and we'll draw that winner at the end. Okay, so let's get right into our discussion questions here. The first one is, Josh, would you like to begin by introducing yourself and telling us more about when you graduated?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Josh. I graduated back in 2020. It was definitely a different type of graduation than probably most of the Boys Town kids had. It was during COVID. Um, yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was definitely scary, because we had a different challenge than a lot of kids graduating did. We were going into a world that was shut down temporarily. But I think majority of the kids I keep in contact with, we made it work. We made best with what we had. So
Yeah. Katie, what about you?
I would say graduation definitely was different than Josh's. One tradition that we did keep though was the riding on fire trucks or the cars, like the parade. It was just really nice. It showed us who all really supported us. It was really nice because my whole family was there, including Josh. He drove up to come and watch me walk across the stage, and it was just really nice because it showed the support that everyone had for me.
That's awesome. Well, you were just graduated. For those who don't know, Katie was a 2023 grad. So she is just a recent grad this past May. So awesome. It's great to have you both on. Okay, so let's backtrack a bit and talk about when you first came to Boys Town. What were you feeling at first, and how did that change over time? Josh, if you want to start.
yeah, so I went to Boys Town's home campus. Um, I remember the exact day and time. It was December 15th at like 2 p.m. I had come from the RTC downtown when it was still downtown, before they had all moved onto home campus. And I remember looking at my mom and saying, I'm going to graduate here. That was one of the first things I said after I'd done the walkthrough with my first set of family teachers. Instantly it had felt like a place I had belonged. Growing up, I always felt like I was a visitor in my own home. Um, and I had a different experience as a child than some of my other siblings, just because of what I went through. So to finally have a place where I felt like I could truly, be who I wanted to be and kind of grow into the person that I think God had kind of set a path for me was definitely an experience and an opportunity I don't take for granted, and I never have. I think throughout my time at Boys Town, while some days I didn't like it, and some days it was hard, I
Yeah.
knew that in the end it was the best thing for me, and it was something that was going to propel me way farther had I took a different route. I'm definitely way more successful than I was going to be had I not come to Boys Town. So I definitely felt I felt at home. I felt like I could finally be at peace.
Yeah. Katie, what about you?
When I first came to Boys Town, there was a lot of anger in the beginning. It was more towards myself due to the fact that I left home at the age of 12. So I originally went to the Boys Town RTC that is on the campus. I went there December 10th at 8 a.m. And then on July 29th at 3 p.m., I was admitted to the home campus with my first set of FTs, the Bergs. When I first met them, I was really just shocked to see the family aspect of the family home program. I know like family is in the name. I am the only I'm one of the only girls in my family, so going from living with just my brothers to living with a ton of females is a completely different change.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotional stuff in the air. When I first came, I told my mom, I said I only want to stay for a year. I don't want to stay here until I graduate. I want to come home to my family. And in the beginning, I really struggled. But the more I realized that I was hurting myself more than helping myself, it changed my whole aspect. And it really helped that Josh was there because I always had him in the shadows. He was always there. And it was just really nice. If I didn't go to Boys Town, I don't think that I would be sitting here right now saying the things that I'm saying, because I had 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks. I had an excellent education. And I didn't have the distractions of social media and all that. And so it was just really nice to be able to have all that I had there.
Yeah. I mean, it speaks volumes for you both to remember, the day and time that you came to Boys Town and when it really changed your life in that moment. Not a lot of people remember the exact time they came. So I'm glad that you could, say that and let our donors who are watching during Donor Week know that, from this day and this time, this is how your impact helped me in my life. So that's great. Thanks for sharing. The next question, Katie, you kind of just answered this talking about living in a home full of girls in the family home program. But Josh, what surprised you about being at Boys?
Man, that's a tough one. I wouldn't say anything really surprised me. Having been, at the RTC before and having been to other placements before that, I kind of already knew what I was getting into a little bit. Living with a bunch of guys was not foreign to me. I was kind of used to it at that point. So really, it was just another adjustment to a different placement. Rather, this placement became my second home. I think what really probably surprised me, but not necessarily that's the best word for it, but just the opportunities we get, I remember my first, because I showed up during Christmas homes. And one of the first events we did was the Nebraska Crossings Outlet. And that was just one of the coolest things I think I'd ever gotten to experience. Just about, how many people actually, care for kids like us at Boys Town. How many people are willing to donate and willing to, put out a helping hand. It just speaks volumes about the fact that it does take a village to raise a child. It really does.
Katie, I saw you smile when he mentioned that. Did you have a good time with that event too?
Yes, because growing up, we didn't have the things that we had at Boys Town. I didn't have name brand clothing. I didn't have 3 different pairs of shoes at one time.
Right.
Like, it was, you get 1 pair of shoes and that lasts you the whole school year. And I got hand-me-down clothes from a girl up the street. And so when I came to Boys Town, I didn't come with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we went to that mall, I just stood there in awe that I still actually have the shoes that I got from the store, the Puma shoes. I still have them to this day, and those are like probably the most important shoes that I have because they were my first pair of non-Skechers shoes. And it felt honestly kind of abnormal to have the things that I had. And it was hard because as I was at Boys Town getting name brand clothing, I still had a little brother at home who wasn't getting the things that I had. And so it was hard, but
Yeah.
I was grateful for it, and I still am.
Yeah, I can hear just even in the way you recount things how appreciative you are. So I appreciate you sharing. Awesome. Well, we were talking a little bit before we came on the live, Josh and Katie and I, about different involvements and plaques and things that we had done at Boys Town. So I'd love to hear more about that. Josh, if you want to start, let us know what all you were involved in. And, you know, extracurriculars.
Yeah, absolutely. So growing up, I always wanted to play football. I swore up and down, I was going to play in the NFL one day. Eighth grade me was not big enough to play football freshman year. And Coach Sargel actually came and recruited me to run cross country, and I'd never heard of cross country like at all. Like I didn't know what it was. All I know is it sounded terrible because it was a lot of running. I ran freshman year and I qualified for state, and I made honorable mention as a freshman. And I had kind of found, an outlet for me. And I ran. I was always running. If anybody saw me, they knew I was running somewhere. That's kind of what I was known for, was the guy who runs across campus all the time. So I was involved in cross country, track. Track was definitely, no offense to Coach Stargell if he's watching this, but track was definitely more my speed. By the time I graduated, it was definitely something more I enjoyed more. But towards probably the latter half of my stay, I got really involved, in student council. I was a peer minister. I worked on a couple of cohorts for juvenile justice reform. I worked with a bunch of legislators. We even helped pass a couple bills while I was in high school, and that was really awesome to see. And then my junior year, I ran for mayor. There were only 3 of us, and I still didn't think I had a chance, While they say it's not a popularity contest, it definitely sometimes is that way. And that's just with anything in high school, that's just how it is. It's nothing against, anything at all, but that's just how it goes. So when I was elected mayor, I was shocked. I really was. But throughout my stay, I definitely seen some mayors who, promised a lot of things and didn't really want to get any of that stuff done. And so I was very adamant on actually getting change and bringing change to campus. Unfortunately, COVID kind of threw a wrench in that. But I had started to have some meetings about, when you get to Boys Town, it is a culture shock, especially for somebody who has never seen a program like that before, been in previous programs, somebody who's coming straight from, maybe a detention center or, straight from home. It is a huge culture shock. And with that, you need, your peers to kind of help you get accustomed. And so I had brought forth an idea of having the student council and peer ministers, shadow a new kid. They get a new kid every week and they shadow them for their first week, help them get to classes and stuff like that. And there were some serious talks about it, but again, COVID kind of threw a wrench in all that. But yeah, I was heavily involved up until I left. I try to stay involved even to this day. It's definitely a little more difficult, being an adult and being so far away. But I do try to, keep up with how everything is going. But yeah, I was involved in a lot, and I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't change how I was involved or at what point did I become involved. I made a lot of mistakes throughout my time there, and I wouldn't change any of it because, it led me to where I am today.
Yeah. Really. Thanks. Katie, what about you? Tell us more about what you were involved in and maybe what your favorite thing was at Boys Town.
So mine is pretty similar to Josh. When I first came to Boys Town and everyone figured out I was Josh Reed's little sister, there was this expectation that I would follow in his footsteps. And that is one thing I didn't do. A lot of people see it as I did. I was actually involved in cross country. I was involved in track, and I was involved in basketball my freshman year. Before Boys Town, I did not do sports. You can ask Josh. I sat at the house. I did not do sports.
Yeah.
So freshman year, when my FT said you have to go try out for a sport, they said volleyball or cross country. I was like, I'm too clumsy to try to hit a ball over a net, so we're gonna try cross country.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. I did not do good my
That's
freshman
okay.
year.
Yeah.
But at the end of my freshman year, I felt happier than ever. Like running, like Josh said, it was an outlet
Mm-hmm.
to get out the feelings that I was feeling. I'd advocated my FTs to have an MP3 and go on runs with it, and I had earned that privilege, and it was just nice.
Right.
Come sophomore year, I was not able to do cross country my sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
but I came back and I worked to do basketball. I made the team as a JV, and half the time my butt was on the court, on the floor, because I was so clumsy. I didn't know how to control my speed.
Mm-hmm.
And then track season came, and my sophomore year I had to end it early due to I had gotten COVID, and it was the respiratory strand. So my sophomore year was really rough for sports.
Yeah.
My junior year, I did better than I ever had in cross country. I
Nice.
PR'd and did good, and I got into the low 20s. And I was so proud, and it was really nice because I remember there was one meet that, and my junior year, Josh was still there. No. Was he there? I don't know. Sophomore year. It was my sophomore. No. Freshman year. Take that back. It was my freshman year.
Yeah.
And I remember running a meet, and Josh was running the meet. Josh would probably remember this meet. I think it was the Bennington one, where you had one big loop and two small loops, and you ran in a soccer field. And this was my first time ever running this race. I've never ran. And Josh was running the race before us. The guys went first. And I remember the race finishing, and I'd never seen Josh cross the line. And it freaked me out. Like, where's my brother? That's not something he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up seeing him on a little, I don't know what you call them, the little drive things that they drive on a gator.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran over to him right before my race started, and I said, what happened? I'm in tears. And he said, I'm okay. He said, I want you to go out and run your race.
Yeah.
And I ran that race with both of us, and that was the fastest time I ever ran on that race.
Wow.
And I did it not just for me, but for him, and I finished it for him. And anytime I would finish a race, even if I did bad, even if it was in track, Josh would be at the line, not discouraging me, but encouraging me and saying that there's room for improvement. And I just wanted, Coach Foster was the main coach for all my sports, ended up being a coach for every single sport I played my senior year. He was a coach. He was the head coach for cross country. He then became a coach for basketball. And then he became the head coach for track.
Mm-hmm.
Due to my health declining at the end of my cross country year on my senior year, I was not able to do basketball. But looking back on that now, I'm so glad that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was able to train all winter season for track.
Yeah.
And I will say my sport is not track. It is not running in loops around a track like Josh can. It's not something I can do.
That's okay.
My race was the 800 race. I got into the top 11 charts at Boys Town. My
Nice.
fastest time was a 2:45:47. To get in the top 10, it had to be a 2:45:24. So I was only milliseconds off.
Oh, man, so close.
But I had fun. I definitely missed the team aspect. Um, like I said before, Boys Town, I didn't do sports. So coming to Boys Town, that was really different. And it was just really nice.
Yeah, that's a common thing for a lot of our kids at Boys Town who first come. They have no prior experience playing sports or being on a team or learning those, teammate social skills. So, you as a Boys Town supporter watching this, you are helping them have those opportunities. And often, as you can hear from Josh and Katie reflecting on it, it's usually some of their favorite memories is being on those teams. And whether it's a sports team or an extracurricular like student council or peer ministry, like Josh mentioned, that's all possible because of you. So thanks for watching. Okay, so we just have a few more questions here for Josh and Katie. So I want to remind everybody that if you want to be entered in our giveaway, to leave a comment below, let us know why you support Boys Town. All right, so my next question is, well, we kind of talked about favorite activities and what we are involved in, but more so memories. What are your favorite memories from Boys Town? I know there's so many to reflect on. A lot of people say holidays and Christmas time, or maybe it's just a simple dinner with your family home. Let us know. Josh, do you want to start?
It is still to this day the one thing I look forward to when I go back, but it is family dinners with the McClures. That is probably where I laugh the most. Ryan is a phenomenal cook. I don't eat as good as I used to, and I probably never will. That man could probably premiere on Chef Masters and win. It was always good, and it was always fun too. It was really a point in our day where we could all come together and kind of just decompress, because family dinners was fun. We always laughed and had a good time. And yeah, that's just probably my favorite memory, because growing up, we didn't get that back home. Family dinners weren't a thing. And I think that's common with a lot of kids, especially, nowadays, both parents are working. So, they're not always home for dinner. And oftentimes the older kids are left to, fend for themselves and the rest of the kids. So having that opportunity, to sit around a table, with the people you consider families is definitely something I want to continue on when I have a family, as I get older. And that is a tradition that I will be, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it, but like that is something I definitely want to stress. It's something that I will bring of importance to my family. So yeah, family dinners were amazing. And every time I go home, they still are. So they never cease to disappoint.
Katie, what about you?
I mean, I would agree on Josh. That is one of my favorite memories. But I think the best one is come wintertime. There's a hill next to the lake on Boys Town. So fun to slide down. And I remember I was in the Bergs. Sorry, if I get emotional, it's just something I really miss. Um, we would go sledding, and it brought back a lot of memories as a younger kid. We had a creek at my home. Josh, Isaiah, I, Jack, and Connor would slide down it, and we'd all come back with bruises and everything, but it was fun. And so when I came to Boys Town and I went sledding down that hill, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I'm little. I'm not that big. And my housemates decided to make a ramp and pushed me down the ramp. And I went flying up and off the ramp and landed headfirst into a pile of snow. It looked like it was from a cartoon. So while they're laughing, I am freezing. But I think the main thing I miss is just the family aspect of always hanging out. My last home of family teachers was the Jacobs, and I am so grateful for the Jacobs. One tradition that I loved was every night, every Friday night, no matter what, everyone sat down at the in the living room and watched a movie. We would either eat ice cream or QT. We all had our own little assigned seats. We all had certain spots that we would sit in. And it didn't matter if you were non-priv or if you were on sub or weekly makeup or if you had your privs. Everyone sat down and watched a movie. And that is one thing that I want to continue if I have a family one day, is that at least once a week we sit down and have a movie together. And like Josh said, every night that we sit at a table together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And something too to emphasize too, these seem for probably a lot of us watching very normal things, sitting down to eat dinner, watching a movie, but they are things that, like I said with sports earlier, are things that before Boys Town, many of our kids have never done before. And even just chilling at home, watching a movie on TV, it means so much to them, more than I think a lot of us can even imagine. And so I'm glad we could highlight even the small memories. There are a lot of things at Boys Town we do really big, like Christmas, I said, is one example. But it's good to know that as our alumni reflect, it's really those everyday things that make their time with us so special. So we have one more question for Josh and Katie, and then we're going to go ahead and draw for our live giveaway winner. Okay, so we've talked a lot about your time at Boys Town, but I'd love to hear more about what you're doing now. Katie, as I said in the beginning, you did just graduate in May. Congratulations. And what is next for you? Going off to college this fall?
Yes, I am. September 5th is my first day of college. I'm going to college for culinary arts. I started cooking at a young age. At the age of 10 is when I started cooking, and I had just fallen in love with it. I would cook dinner at Boys Town a lot of the nights when we had a kitchen before it got remodeled. I would cook dinner. And so in the fall, I will be starting college for culinary arts and pursuing my first degree for that, and then going back after that for baking and pastry, and then after that, business management. So that is my plan for the fall.
Yeah. Gosh, well, best of luck to you. All of us at Boys Town are rooting for you, and especially our donors watching too. We all can't wait to see you do amazing, and we'll have to catch up with you, and you can let us know again how it's all going come this fall.
Yeah, thanks to the donors, I am actually able to have a full ride scholarship to Boys Town. I was gifted a full ride scholarship from Boys Town to Metro. I was also gifted this phone, and I was gifted a car, and a little bit of extra money, due to the donors donating. And I can't say how thankful I am, because I don't have to stress to pay for college because it's completely paid for.
Yeah, that speaks volumes. So we're so proud of you, and our donors support you because we know that you are more than capable of this success, and we're excited to see all that you do. So you definitely deserve all of it. And Josh too, we'd love to hear. You graduated in 2020. What are you up to now? I don't know if you guys can see. Josh has the cutest dog that has kind of peeked in and out of frame, but he's a dog dad. That's one thing he's been up to.
Yeah, so this is Piper. I got her a few months ago. She's a pit bull. She's the biggest pain in my rear, but I love her to death, and I wouldn't trade her for anything else. Yeah, so I actually just started a new job. It is at Pathways. I am a youth care worker. It is something that I've prayed a lot about, and I've always wanted to give back. Because Boys Town, they changed my life.
Yeah.
There are moments that I can go back and look on and recognize that those were key moments that were vital to, who I am and where I'm at today. And that's all because, an adult stepped up and stepped in. And I think if I can do that for just one kid, then the world's better off and in a better place. So I actually, today is my first day shadowing. I'm working at a PRTF here in town, getting to work with kids and help them, kind of, grow and learn some better coping skills and learn how to, adjust to, adversaries and, stuff like that, that I had to do.
Right.
I can't think of anybody who's got a better experience than, kids like us. I mean, I have firsthand experience of what it's like to, to be in the system and to come out successful. So that's what I'm doing. There's still some aspirations to go back to college. I just kind of got to figure out what that is. I'm definitely leaning in between, a 4-year degree or a tech school. I love to work on cars. So working at Pathways gives me the opportunity to go to tech school this fall. So I've applied. It's kind of late, so there might not be any open spots left. But if there are, tech school is definitely something I'm working towards. It's definitely been a rough year. Last September, I was in a pretty bad car accident that left me out of work for quite some time. And it's kind of made some life-changing things for me. So I'm finally getting back to, where I was right before that happened. So I'm pretty happy where I'm at. I would say I'm probably the happiest I've been in a while.
Great.
Graduating Boys Town, it creates, a different set of obstacles. At Boys Town, it was, okay, I got to get my homework done, or, I got to earn so many points back because I ran my mouth a little too much. But now it's, I missed work on Friday, actually. I ended up in the hospital, unfortunately. I missed work. So now the real life thing is, okay, I got to make that up because, I have bills to pay. In Boys Town, I'm so thankful for them because the skill book, I hated that thing. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand having to read all those skills. But, they're crucial.
Use them.
Yeah, there's people my age and people who are older than me I see out in public. And in my head, I think, man, you should just say, okay. Like it'd be all over with if you would just say, okay. And it makes you think like, wow, like those skills aren't useless. They are very useful. And I think if half the adults I run into on a daily basis use them, we'd be in a different situation than we are in now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of less people would, be hurting the way they are.
Definitely. Well, best of luck on your first day. You'll have to, like I said, we'll have to do a follow-up with you both so we can hear more about how it all goes for you. But we're so proud of you, and we're so happy that your time at Boys Town was so meaningful. And thank you for sharing all of this with our donor audience and letting them kind of see a glimpse into your life and how their support has directly impacted the two of you. So thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, like I mentioned at the beginning, yes, we did draw for our giveaway winner. So we have the little wheel with the comments, and the winner today is, can you see, Kelly Witt. So congrats, Kelly. We will. Yes, I know you guys both know her.
I love Miss Witt.
It's fitting that she won the comment on your video then.
She was an amazing teacher.
Yeah, Miss Witt will reach out to you directly to get you your prize. But like I said, the giveaways are not over. So if you didn't win this one, still leave a comment. Let us know why you support Boys Town, because we'll do the grand prize giveaway for the paper at the end of the week. So, all right. Well, that concludes day one of Donor Week. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with David Harvey, who is a 2005 Boys Town alum, and he will share his story. So that's tomorrow at noon Central Time, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, everybody.